Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown,
the unofficial sumo podcast
for official sumo fans.
All right, F it. Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown. This is Ryan.
This is Jake.
This is Flerick.
This is somewhat Mac. It's gonna be weird.
This is going to be the final episode of Mac. He is apparently on his deathbed.
I could be dying.
God bless that brave soul. He's here recording anyways.
I have cough drops and I have warm tea, and it's not helping.
And you have one more responsibility before we get into the episode.
Yes, Yokozuna Ryan, move on.
GD right, it's Yokozuna Ryan. Just like Tarana Fuji, 4 out of 6 tournaments this year.
Yeah, it's not fun anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Let's keep going. What's next?
Get rid of the awards.
All right.
We've gone too far.
This is our Kyushu Review-shu episode. Before
Trademark Grand Sumo Breakdown.
Wow.
That's right.
We came
Still
up with it.
writing.
It's our joke.
Of course. We're gonna ride that every single Kyushu Basho. That is just what it is now.
Jeez.
The Kyushu preview shoe, and then all the way through. It doesn't work as
That
well.
doesn't quite work.
What
with that
about
one.
what about the Kyushu halfway through shoe?
Ooh.
I like that one.
I like
We better
that.
write this
That
down
was
for
nice.
2022.
Yeah. All right. Now also workshop unique names for each of the other 5 Bashos.
That's gonna be a lot
Sumatsu.
harder.
Yes. All right. Before we dive in to Review-shu, the Kyushu, we got to plug a few things. Jake,
God.
definitely not Mac.
Mac-
I want
Mac,
to hear
take a
as
minute
little
here.
of Mac as possible on this
Hey.
episode.
I'm okay. I promise I'm okay.
Oh, man.
I just
Nobody
can't
believes you.
talk. I just can't talk.
Absolutely nobody believes you. You're going to the hospital. As soon as we're done, we need you for the
Fine.
But
content.
we've got some things to do first. And first off, we wanted to make sure to mention the North American Sumo Championships. Again, that's coming up December 11th in Las Vegas. And oh my God, that's less than 2 weeks. And I have so
Right.
much left to
Holy
do.
crap.
But check out our interviews. We've been reaching out to a handful of competitors. By the time that you're listening to this, I believe we'll have Caleb from Mighty Eagle Sumo, Kyle Ferreter, Alex Hearn, Karinga Conway, Eris Armstrong, a couple guys from the Dallas Sumo Club, and I think the Honu Sumo Club should be up by the time this one goes.
Correct.
But yeah, we've got a handful more coming. We're just trying to get a good picture of what's going on in the lead up to that show. And if you are in Las Vegas or are cool enough to travel to Las Vegas, Ryan, Jake, and Mac of world famous podcast fame of famous Grand Sumo Breakdown hosting will be there.
You
That was a
trailer.
sentence. That was a sentence.
Very, very famous people, you see. We will be there doing commentary in the arena, and Sumo Kaboom will be doing commentary for the YouTube live stream.
And
Hopefully
Mac's
I'll be a little
presence,
more articulate.
I was going to say, Mac's presence is currently TBD.
No, I'll be fine.
Contingent upon him being alive.
Yes.
Yep.
That could be.
In addition, we want to let everybody know that our 3rd annual Grand Sumo Breakdown Gsb Popularity Poll will be live as you are listening to this episode. So make sure you go to our Twitter, go to our Facebook. We probably sent it to you in snail mail. Find the popularity poll, fill out who was your favorite and least favorite from the past year. It's just fun to track all of that stuff, and we would greatly appreciate your input. We got over 1,100 responses last year, and we would love nothing more than to get 1,500 or more this year.
I was about to say, plug the number 1,500. That's what we want.
Yep. And then also keep an eye out before the end of the year, or at least before the Hatsuba show. We're going to have our, what would it be? 5th annual Grand Sumo Breakdown Award show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll be
Wow.
coming as
2017.
well.
Holy cow.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Wow, what a famous and well-known podcast. So renowned.
Mhm.
All right, Jake, why don't you kick us off with our Patreon compliments for the Review-shu episode?
Yes, we do have a new friend of the show. I was having a bad day recently, but Justice Victor called a mono E and overturned the decision, giving my day a Kachikoshi.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
And to Joe Hobbs, Paul Simpson, Summer, Mark Burgess, Robbie Gardner, Baron, Corey with a K, Thora Cottrell, Jessica Buckland, Devin Peterson, Radish Cat, Heather Jockins, and Dick Flair. You're all the senpais we wanted to notice us.
Can we just give Mac everything for the rest of the show?
I was gonna say we might need to
Go.
redo this outline a little bit and make him not do everything.
I'm gonna do
We're
a
fine.
control F for every time it says Jake and switch it to Mac before he
We're
reads further
good.
on.
We're okay.
Should I not have given Mac a 10-minute movie scene to act out for us later in the episode?
Might have been unwise.
Yeah.
In my defense, he wasn't a robot at that point in time.
Also true.
All right, let's dive into the results of the Kyushu Basho, as we do here on the Review-shu podcast. All right, the Yusho.
Dynamite.
Man, we're so good.
We are. God, that just insane branding that we came up with is just so good.
Yeah, we should give some pointers to B, our correspondent, for
Yeah.
thinking of names.
Yeah. All right. Yusho winner, as we already alluded to, Tarana Fuji picking up a 15-0 Zensho Yusho this tournament, his 6th career Yusho. We also predicted what his record was going to be at the end of the Basho, and Mac, RIP, was closest to predicting this result by guessing a 14-1 record.
Pour one out
It was
for our
good
fallen
enough.
comrade.
Yep. Also, happy birthday, Tarano Fuji. On not the day we release this, but the day we're recording it. It is the big man's 30th birthday.
All
So
right.
happy birthday to Teruno Fuji. We had 2 June Yusho winners for this tournament. One was Ozeki Takakesho with a 12-3 record. That is his 6th career June Yusho. And Maegashira 15 Abi, also with a 12-3 record, his 1st career June Yusho. We also had a handful of special prizes awarded this Basho. The Gino Show Technique Prize was given to Maegashira 7 Ura. This is his 1st career Technique Prize and his 1st special prize overall. And there's a good reason he got it, because he was not doing your kind of bread and potatoes kind of sumo. He had 4 kata tsukashi, 2 ashitori leg picks, 2 totari arm throws, and then just 2 typical kimarite, 1 hikiotoshi, 1 oshidashi. And once again, I will point out 0 forceful tachi-eyes, or probably 0 forward movement at any tachi-eye throughout the entire basho.
Just about.
I know we've seen the Ashitori and the Tatari before, but why don't we explain what a Kata Tsukashi is and why that's hard to pull off?
I would, but
Ryan.
it's kind of complicated. And
Yokozuna Ryan, you should know this.
Let me waffle for just long enough to Google this one.
yeah, Mac. While
I will
while
talk
I
about
am-
the Totari were the ones that really stuck out for me. Those arm throws were just so good to watch.
I don't even know why you guys are making this joke, because everybody knows that a kata tsukashi is a kimarite in which the attacker forces his opponent down by placing his hands on the opponent's shoulder blade, one inside and one outside, and pulling him down and forward while backing away. A definition Abi probably greatly needed on day 14.
Maybe that's the Kimarite I was thinking of. What's the Totari one?
Tatari's the arm throw.
Tatori is just
Okay.
the arm throw.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Not-
I
that
definitely
Kata-
watched those. That's the one he spins around and he just kind of brings him down. Like the kata tsukashi.
Tsukashi.
Kata
Yeah.
Tsukashi.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Those were
he's got one
amazing to
arm,
watch.
in the armpit,
One arm over
and
here
then twists forward and reaches around. So both arms are grabbing the same shoulder
Mhm.
and then pushes down. It was interesting because he got 4 wins by it, but there were definitely a handful of other times he was trying it. And just from what we know of Ura, it seems like as free spirit as he seems to be, I'm curious if he learned that move in October or something for the first time and is I'm just gonna do this all day.
Well, it seems like that first Basho that Midori Fuji was in the top division this year, where he won the technique prize after pulling out 5 or 6 kata tsukashis. I don't know if I'm just noticing them a lot more now, or if there is more kata tsukashi happening in the dohyo, and people saw that oh, that is a good way to beat people. I will also do that.
That would be
Unfortunately,
an excellent.
Abi also saw that, as we will get into.
Yes.
That would be an excellent project for us to look into whenever Sumo DB comes back online.
Not it. I've already done enough research. Not it.
Oh no, it's like a 5-minute thing when the 5th member of the podcast shows up for work.
And yeah, Sumo DB isn't just like regular down. It's like super down right now. It's like the entire service is unavailable. So it's
Oh man,
It's apparently
weird.
tied to max health,
my health is fine. I just can't speak.
which
That
is an
is
unhealthy state
indication
to
of
be
poor
in.
health.
It is not poor health.
I feel like all of our listeners can very justly say otherwise.
Do I look sick?
You
sound
sound
sick.
sick. That's kind of how that
doesn't
works.
mean I'm
Yeah.
sick.
Mac is going to be that Midwestern 80-year-old man who never talks about his feelings or goes to the doctor one time in his life. They'll be lowering him into the ground and he'll be like, I'm fine. I'm not going to no doctor. Yeah, no, he'll
You're
just be
not
drinking
wrong.
warm tea,
Mhm.
It's more tea.
doing his like silverware in the garbage disposal impression.
Silverware is expensive. You don't do that.
I feel like that plays right into that stereotype.
That's why I said it. Move on.
Okay, the Shukunsho Outstanding Performance Prize was not awarded this tournament because nobody deserved it. The Kanto Show Fighting Spirit Prize was handed out to two Rikishi. Maegashira to Takanosha with his 11-4 record. He got his second career Fighting Spirit Prize and his second career overall special prize. And Maegashira 15 Abi, he got his third career Fighting Spirit Prize and his third overall
Here we go.
special award.
Just for context, if you are new to the terminology, the Outstanding Performance Award is generally given to somebody who beat the guy who went on to win the whole thing.
Or if you're like a Sekiwake Komusubi Maegashira that won the whole thing itself.
Sure.
Hard to do
but-
when the winner got a Zensho.
Exactly. In this kind of a situation, nobody beat Tarano Fuji. So generally, like the main qualification that they would use to pass that out doesn't apply. So
Yep.
they just let it sit on the shelf for now.
And then, of course, our Basho Lee update on Kageyaki. He just finished an entire calendar year with 0 Kachikoshis. And this time he could actually fall down into Juryo, 5-10 at Maegashira 14. It is borderline. He could be saved by a lack of Rikishi that should be promoted up from Juryo. So it really comes down to him versus probably like Oho. So we'll see who gets the luck of the Bansuke. Knowing Kageyaki, he'll be at the tail end of the Bansuke Kamatsu.
There will be a Maegashira 18 rank coming up next time.
Yep. All right. Let's talk more about how Tarano Fuji won the Yusho. Not going to go too deep into the details. He went 15-0. That's how he won the Yusho.
What more do you need?
Moving
That'll
on.
do it.
Yeah.
That will do it.
Yeah, it was a close race for a little bit. Through day 9, Tarano Fuji was tied with Takakesho. Abi had dropped off a few days ago, but it was two guys with undefeated records through day 9. But then after day 10, Tarano Fuji had a 1-match lead over both Takakesho and Abi. Then on day 13, Tarano Fuji remained unbeaten, but Abi defeated Takakesho, kind of taking Takakesho out of the race. And then day 14, you had Tarano Fuji versus Abi. The stakes were if Tarano Fuji beats Abi, he wins the Yusho 1 day early. No need to show up on day 15. Pretty sure they just canceled day 15 if that happens. But if Abi wins, he will be tied with Tarano Fuji for the lead. So it looked real good for Abi to start off the match. He was able to push Tarano Fuji to the Tawara, was able to keep Tarano Fuji from getting a grip anywhere on Abi's belt. As best I could tell, like at the very last moment for Abi's last shove, Taro was able to kind of get underneath his arms a little bit, and he also kicked his leg out forward kind of into Abi's hip and like planting leg. So Abi wasn't able to get force to finish the shove on Tarano Fuji. So Tarano Fuji was able to get a little bit of forward momentum at that time. And then, as I kind of was mentioning before, Abi, it looked like he was going for that Kata Tsukashi throw. He had the outside arm on the back of Tarano Fuji and the inside arm kind of like on his inside shoulder. And then I honestly still don't know how the physics of it worked, but as Abi was going for the throw, Tarano Fuji just didn't move, and Abi threw himself to the ground as best as I can tell.
My best guess there is that Katatsukashi move really needs the opponent to be moving forward. Because I mean, if you just like had somebody yank straight down on you while you're standing with your feet under you, you're not going to go anywhere. But if you've overcommitted a bit, Abi could have helped him to the ground essentially. But yeah, Terunofuji has showed a lot of patience, despite like however the hell he recovered from being on the edge in this match. Like the finishing sequence, he was patient. He wasn't going to overextend at all. And yeah, he was way too solid for Abi to pull him down to the ground by his shoulder like that. But yeah, as far as the actual recovery on the edge, that is complete black magic.
He's done it a couple times this tournament.
Yeah. And this match was really funny. I actually I knew the result of the match before it happened, but I still believed. That was so close on the edge there that I was still like, wait, did I hear wrong or something or what?
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, that was a crazy match.
So, like we mentioned, Terunofuji got his first career Zensho Yusho. And so this is the first non-Hakuho Zensho Yusho that we have covered on this podcast. So I wanted to kind of just look in to see how often does it happen, because I feel like we have been spoiled by Hakuho in the frequency of Zensho Yusho. So it is a rare feat, even for a Yokozuna. He is just the 28th Rikishi ever to record a perfect record in a 15 Basho tournament or 15-day tournament. And there's some notable Yokozunas that most people have heard of that were never able to accomplish the feat, such as Kisei no Sato, Kakuryu, Akebono. None of them were ever able to get a perfect 15-0 record in any tournament. Terunofuji is only the 5th Rikishi to get a Zensho Yusho since the turn of the century, since 2000, and the first non-Hakuho perfect record since somehow inexplicably Goeido in 2016. And then the other two to get perfect records since 2000 are Yokozuna Asashoryu and Yokozuna Harumafuji. That did drive me down the rabbit hole of like, okay, so we always point to Goeido and we're like, how in the hell did Goeido, of all people, have a perfect record in a Basho? But he is not the unlikeliest Rikishi to ever get a Zensho Yusho. So of the 28 Rikishi to get a perfect record, only 4 never became a Yokozuna. And so of those 4, 2 were Ozeki at the time of their Zensho Yusho. That was Wakashimazu and Goeido. So they would be numbers probably 3 and 4 of unlikeliest to get a Zensho Yusho of people that have, because everybody else that did it was a Yokozuna. So you expect greatness of them. But then there were 2 Rikishi that had a 15-0 tournament that never even made it to the rank of Ozeki. So by that alone, Goeido was better than them, which is very difficult for me to say.
I was about to say, did that burn coming out of your mouth, much like
Hall of
my throat and
Famer
voice are doing now?
Yeah, Hall of Famer Goeido along there in the Hall of Fame with Shodai.
We'll get to that. That is not the popular sentiment, Jake.
I'm aware. I saw the Twitter poll. It did not turn out how I would have voted, but yeah, whatever. Move on.
All right. So the 2 Rikishi that had a perfect record and never made it to the rank of Ozeki, it happened twice in the 50s, actually. So Tokitsuyama had a 15-0 record as a Maegashira 6 in 1953. Prior to that Basho, he had spent only 2 tournaments as a Komosubi, and then both of those times were with a losing record. So this isn't coming from somebody that's like on the rise, or it was a guy that's just like, oh, every time he gets to Sanyaku, he doesn't do good. And then after the perfect record, he did spend 13 more tournaments in the Sanyaku ranks and did end up winning 5 Jun Yusho. So he did decently for himself for somebody that never made it up to Ozeki. And then you have Tama no Umi, who had a 15-0 record as a Maegashira 14 in 1957. So prior to that, he had spent 4 consecutive Basho in the Sanyaku ranks before he got injured. And then his first Basho back from injury saw him get this 15-0 record for his only career Yusho. After that perfect record, he would only have 6 more tournaments in the Sanyaku ranks and only won 1 more Jun Yusho. So for that reason, I am labeling Tama no Umi as a Maegashira 14 in 1957 as the least likely Zensho Yusho in history.
Tokushoryu was only 1 away from
oh my God, I know.
1 match.
Oh man.
And it wasn't even who beat him. It wasn't even like Takakesho, who was like the highest ranked guy in that one.
Yeah.
I can't tell you because Sumo DB is down.
I bet it was like Daisho or something.
I'll find it. Hang on.
Someone at the bottom.
Mac will do some research. All right. While Mac is doing research, let's talk about some more just career ranks for Terunofuji, where he is after his 6th Yusho. So his number 6 Yusho puts him in a tie with Yokozuna, Azuma Fuji, Chiyo no Yama, Kakuryu, Sada no Yama, and Tama no Umi for the 21st most career Yusho wins. And so Flair, we've seen him win 4 out of 6 and 5 out of, I want to say, 8 since he has made it up to the top division, or maybe 5 out of 9. So after the year Teruno Fuji just had, and with Hakuho's retirement, how many Yusho do you think Teruno Fuji ends up with in his career?
His career?
Yeah.
That's so many variables with that.
How about we do over under 11 and a half?
Oh, okay. So he has like 6 now or 7?
Yes.
Yeah, 6. So that's like what, 5 more? Like, so like maybe 2 more years if he continues with the career. Maybe if he continues on. Yeah, maybe. Like right now, there's not really much competition. Takakesho is the closest, but he has health issues. So I could see that. Sure.
Mac, who did Tokushoyu lose to?
Day 2, he lost to Kaisei.
Jeez. Yeah, that's a pretty good random loss for him there.
Kaisei, the Daisho of the bottom of the Bansuke, if you will.
Yeah. But no, I think going back to the Teruno Fuji point, like you say, like won 5 out of 9 or 6 out of 9 losses though.
I think he's won 5 out of the last 9, Basho.
Yeah, it goes to show how the step above he is, and we've seen this tournament many times. He got to like the edge. It's actually like shades of Hakuho, like where he gets pushed to the edge, then he does something weird. Like he just knows what to do in this situation, and he just gets out of it and gets the win in the end. And like no one can touch him right now. I think probably Takakesho was the person most likely to be it. I thought the match was really close and really good. So it kind of depends how that rivalry depends with all the Usos and such. But right now they seem to be evenly matched. So it might just go 50-50.
Yeah, let's stop down and talk about that Takakesho Teruno Fuji match on day 15, because I did think that was a really fun match between the two. You had Takakesho, who was able to get some pretty powerful shoves and push Teruno Fuji back quite a bit at times. Obviously, never enough to get him out of the ring. It kind of seemed like Takakesho was almost afraid to go in for like a second attack after he got a big shove in, just because kind of anticipating Teruno Fuji's anticipation of Takakesho's upcoming move. So it was really a chess match between the two that lasted for quite a bit. And it really just felt like Teruno Fuji just like, okay, push into me, wear yourself out, and then I'll toss you.
Yeah. I think we have to mention the pause of where Takakesho kind of stood up like Hakuho, like trying to do the Butskari, I think, training thing.
Come at me, bro.
Where like the senior Rikishi stands up and like has the lower Rikishi go ahead and like run into him. They have to push him across the dohyo.
I love
and
that.
Like we've seen Hakuho do that a couple of times. It's kind of a thing like, hey, come at me. And I just love seeing that from Takakesho, just the attitude from it. And also like the going back to the technical thing, my thoughts were like, I think Takakesho has a tough time with bigger opponents. Like he gets a lot of wins just by pushing them like much. He's a very strong push, and like he's able to get a lot of wins that way. I think he dropped against Kaisei or no Ichi Nojo. He dropped.
No, he did beat Ichi Nojo. That was the hair
but he got
pull
muscled
one.
around.
He got muscled around big.
Exactly. Yeah, I think he is struggling with bigger opponents, and he hasn't exactly figured out how to win those consistently yet. So that was my big take, is like he's not yet can get wins against Teruno Fuji consistently. Hopefully that develops in the next year.
Yeah, I'm fairly positive it was Meisei and Abi that handed him his 2 other losses. 100% sure on Abi and about 90% sure on Meisei.
Hang on, I will tell you.
But yeah, so that was a real fun match, and we've seen close matches between those two. Their overall record is fairly close. So hopefully next time Takakesho is in position again to have a match with Teruno Fuji towards the end of the tournament of any
Meisei and Abi.
significance. Yep, perfect. So also, Jake and Mac, what were your opinions on kind of under 11 and a half Yusho wins for Teruno Fuji's career at this point?
I guess I think it's probably time for me to abandon my waffling on health stuff. I'll say over, because I think at this rate, he just turned 30, which means that he's got somewhere between like 2 and 5-ish years probably at the top. And yeah, I think he can get another year's worth of wins under his belt. That's kind of, I guess the things that would stand in his way, in my opinion, are Takakesho turning another corner, or somebody new that we kind of think might be on the cusp of stardom making a turn. Guys like, the newer generation guys like Hoshoryu or Wakataka Kage, or, of that generation, maybe toss Meisei in there. I know he's not quite as young as them, but like there's a couple guys that seem like they have enough time left in their career to make another turn and could potentially be another dominant threat. So I think he'll probably get more than 11.5.
I'd agree with that, Jake. I'd say more than 11.5, but I'd also throw in Kiribayama's match. Definitely wasn't a slouch match where Kiribayama got blown out. Daisho clearly has Tarano Fuji's number.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I have no idea, but holy crap, was that match not insane? So I do think it's going to be over, but the newer generation, they're coming up, and it's really cool to see.
Yeah, I think the coolest thing I like about new generation is like there's two distinct styles. You got the Daisho and Takanosho that's all about like really hard tachi, like hitting them. And then you have like the Yotsu people like Hoshoryu and Kiribayama. They're like, I'm gonna try to outthink you and win this up by the belt. And they don't have it figured out yet. But I think they might get there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think kind of going back to like, how does Daisho have Tarano Fuji's number? I think the way that we've seen Tarano Fuji get in trouble, it's always at the beginning of the match. Like if you can get into Tarano Fuji fast and just overpower him in like the first 2 seconds and get him out of the ring, that's how you're going to get him. But if you just allow him any space to catch his footing, catch his breath, do anything to make an adjustment to you, full on pushing him back, he's gonna make that adjustment and be able to take the win. But Daisho is a very powerful pusher thruster that can get you out of the dohyo immediately. We've seen him struggle with Onosho. When Onosho is on, he can get you out immediately.
Not
same
often,
thing,
but yes.
Same thing with like Takanosho, who we've seen take some wins off Tarano Fuji. Abi almost did that. We've seen Takakesho do that to Tarano Fuji. So I think the key in beating Tarano Fuji really is in the first couple of seconds, and you just can't squander that opportunity.
I wonder if he would be vulnerable to if like Hoshoryu or Kiribayama develop a little bit more and they come at you with like, 5 or 6 different weird attacks at the same time. I wonder if it's a situation where they can just kind of like overwhelm with information and stuff like that. I mean, clearly it's not working yet, but
yeah.
I don't know.
Yet being the key word, meaning it could work.
Yeah,
Sure.
I feel like the pushing is probably the way to beat them, because if you try to do a belt battle, it's just I don't see it working out.
Game over.
Yeah, I feel like Tarano Fuji's size just is such a huge advantage in that situation where he's just bigger than you. He can lean on you. It's just going to be harder to move him. He's going to be able to get a counter grip on you probably. So just getting in a belt battle with him just seems like a ticking time bomb for that match. You don't know when, but you're going to go out.
Yeah.
At least at this point.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so something we brought up at the start of at our preview episode for the Kyushu Basho is Tarano Fuji's current hot streak, where he has a Yusho or Jun Yusho in now 7 straight tournaments. He is only one of 12 Rikishi to ever accomplish that feat. So we'll see how far he can push that streak. That one seems like it can go for quite a while. And then also for Tarano Fuji's accolades, he did end up with the most wins in 2021 with 77 wins.
Wow.
Curious, does anybody think he can get 80 or more wins next year? Because we've definitely seen a higher level from him ever since he's become Yokozuna, 13-1 and 15, no, 13-2 and 15-0. But his last 3 Bashos, 14-1, 13-2, 15-0. He's only dropped 3 matches in the past 3 tournaments. Does anybody think he can crack 80 next year?
I don't think so, purely because of all the drama that we just talked about with his matches that were so close. I'm not saying like clearly he's incredibly good, but I just don't think that getting that close to losing like 3, 4, 5 times per Basho is like a sustainable. I don't expect him to go 15-0 next time, I guess is what I'm saying. And that to me, that's the thing. Like there's enough matches that like came down to just that close to him actually losing that maybe he'll get 15-0, 1 or 2 more times in his career. I don't know, but I don't think it's from what we saw this Basho, I don't think it would be a good bet to think that it will be consistently this good of results.
Yeah, I'm with you too, Jake. It's just to stay in like peak physical form year round is just so hard. It's so hard in the body. It's so hard in general. And like he was able to put it together and get 77 wins, but with like Takakesho like looking to be healthy and like some other young ones coming up, I just don't see pulling off 6 Bashos in a row of like 14-1, 15-0s. I think that would be an amazing exception, like Hakuho level-esque to pull that off.
But he's not quite at Hakuho level yet, which to me makes him even more exciting than just watching Hakuho. But I'd have to agree with both of you guys. 80's pretty tall. I would say mid to lower 70s, probably more realistic, because I'm not counting out any of these newer or younger guys figuring out how to take out Tarana Fuji.
Yeah.
Or an injury, which
or an
as a
injury.
Yokozuna, he's well within his rights to sit out now and then. And
Absolutely.
that obviously means 15 wins that are unavailable to him.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on and talk about, I don't know if he was a huge surprise because I kind of clocked this, but Abi.
Abby.
I mean, he came in after his suspension. He served his time down in Makushita and Juryo, back up in the top division. And I knew he would look good, but I mean, Abi looked better than he ever has. This is his first Basho with more than 10 wins in the top division. And as we mentioned, this is his first June Yusho. So Jake, did Abi look better than expected based on his previous Makuuchi stint, or was this just a product of him facing the bottom of the Bansuke?
I think that it would be unfair to dismiss the level of competition he was going up against.
Here we go.
But here go. No, I'm kidding. I think, how do I want to say it? He did look better than I expected, but only because I kind of expected a decline with the time off and the time against lower competition. But if instead of saying like you get 3 Basho suspension and you have to work your way back up, if instead they just bumped him down when he left, like, when it happened originally, if they just bumped him down to the bottom of Maegashira ranks, this is kind of what I would have expected from him then. So I guess what I would say is kind of the surprise to me is that there seemed to be no loss to him. He's exactly back in form of somebody that I would expect to be Junior Sanyaku, so yes, I guess it's unexpected in that regard that he looks exactly as good as he used to.
Yeah. And we had kind of talked about when he was in Makushita, it's like, oh, he's working in some like Uwatanage throws and stuff like that. He's working on some new techniques that
because
he
he's going against Makushita wrestlers.
Yeah, because he's going against the lower ranked guys.
As we see him in Makuuchi, not a single hand of Abi's touched a belt in 15 days.
As Ryan
Except
said before,
for
he knows his bread and potatoes or whatever the
meat and potatoes.
Meat
It's
and
meat
potatoes.
and potatoes.
bread and butter and meat and potatoes. Were you mixing those two?
Bread
up,
and
maybe?
butter.
Yeah, you're.
I don't know, but it took me so long to figure out what was wrong about it that it's been stuck in my head. So I had to do it.
Oh God! Now I got some stupid comment 15 minutes ago saying bread and potatoes.
Oh yeah, and I'm not editing that out. That's not how.
Well,
that works.
There you go.
I wouldn't want you to. So Abi did win his Fighting Spirit prize, and when in his interview, because he won the special prize, he was asked about moving back in with his family, and instead of saying, "Oh yeah, 12-3 June Yusho special prize, I'm very happy with myself. I'm definitely moving back in with my family," just kind of adding some fuel to the fire that we're trying to create. That he's having some marital issues. He's gonna have to have a talk with his family. So he's gonna have to ask his wife, "Is it okay if I come home?" Because the boys really like my presence over the past year.
Honey,
I'd hate
know
to
it's not a
abandon
you
the
show,
boys.
but it's a June you show. Can I come home now? No, it's not a you show.
That's what it was. He had Tarana Fuji on the Tawara, and he's like, "Oh wait, if I win the U show." But I want to
go
hang
home.
I want
Be a
to.
I gotta go home to my wife.
I want to hang with the boys. Let's do a June U show.
Yeah,
Let's do a Junior show.
let's
That
pull
was
back
the
a little
black
bit,
magic
lose
that
to
happened there.
Takanosho on day 15. It's like, you know what? Not happy with the way I ended. I've got to stay at the Hay another. Let's call it another year, just to be safe.
Well, what
I don't want
about
to
your
get I don't want to
daughter?
get too ahead of myself here.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about the other June Yusho winner a little bit more. Takakesho. He looked every bit of the Takakesho we expect to see when he is healthy, which is very good to see because he had that scary neck injury back in the Nagoya Basho. Obviously, he came back in Aki, but he did not look good in that tournament. But 12-3 June Yusho, peak Takakesho, and I will point out I am the only one who predicted Jun Yusho for Takakesho. The rest of you thought Kadoban was more likely. You scrubs. But Mac, I want to know, how do you feel about Takakesho's bread and potatoes sumo? No, his Yokozuna
my.
potential after this Basho. Did this Basho do anything to sway you one way or the other?
His meat and butter.
Yeah.
Oh God. Well, Yokozuna, Ryan. In looking at Takakesho's performance with this one, honestly, I'm undeterred. I think he has recognized that there are certain individuals that he has to practice with because, granted, he won by a hair pull with Ichi Nojo. Ichi Nojo handily defeated him. I mean, you could say what you will. Takakesho got manhandled on that one. And Abi with his powerful pusher thruster, I mean, Tarana Fuji, he's got his work cut out for him. But if anybody can throw Kiribaiyama to the ground like a rag doll, that's got to be Yokozuna potential. I mean, seriously, that was just one shoulder boof down to the clay. Like, bravo. So, nope, undeterred.
Yeah, he's looking pretty good. I think the one thing, the way he comes back from injury is very good to see. He's definitely working hard between Bashos to come back from that, which is really good. I think he's just, of all the people, I think Takakesho really, really wants it. Like, he's aiming for the top. Like, he's aiming for the Suno belt. And it's just, yeah, like after this Basho, it definitely cemented that in my mind. He has some things to work on, but I think he can hopefully try to get there. He's at least going to give it his best one day at a time.
Better than Mitaki Yumi, we hope.
Yeah, I feel
Fair
like
point.
this is kind of if Takakesho becomes a Yokozuna, it kind of feels like one of those, like, maybe he'll get like a lifetime achievement award type thing, like Mitaki Yumi getting Ozeki someday kind of a situation.
Exactly.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
if Mitaki Yumi gets like 10 wins the next tournament, they're like 9, 11, 10. F it, you've been here so long, just take it.
Yeah.
Enough already, please. But yeah, no, that's kind of how it feels to me. I think that it could happen. I don't think this Basho changed my mind one way or the other on it.
Yeah.
We got what we know he can do.
Yeah,
I always say I'm very happy that he looked not injured, I would say. Like I
Yep.
said on the midway, he was still leading his head like during his Tachi. So that makes me think like the neck injury is like not a big problem at the moment.
Yeah, I look forward to him pulling out in the first week of the Hatsu Basho. As per tradition, after Takakesho gets 12 or more wins in a tournament, always, ever since he's become Ozeki, always seems like the next one he's pulling out. I would confirm that with Sumo DB, but still very dead right now.
What do you want me to look up?
If you can look up Takakesho's record after having 12 or more wins since becoming an Ozeki.
Yeah. And if you can recite every single record of his whole career, that would be great.
Okay, hang on.
And just read the entire Wikipedia article too while you're at it.
Mac,
no,
he's
it's
like
not
Ron
And seeing
Burgundy.
that
You tell him to do
HMS
something, he'll do
4,
it.
I am the very model of a modern major general, please.
Okay, wait, how many? More than 12?
Oh Lord.
Yes. 12 or more wins
2,
as an Ozeki. What is
3.
his record in the follow-up Basho? As Mac is looking that up, let's talk about the rest of the guys in the Sanyaku ranks. Shodai, I don't know what else to talk about. 9 and 6. He can get that Kachikoshi as an Ozeki. Good for him. I guess we can hit on the poll we put out for, is Shodai, based on his career up to this point, is he a Hall of Famer? I believe it was
about 3-1 in favor of no.
yes, it was like 75 to 78% no, and the reverse percent for people that said yes. And the people that said yes, the comments on the Twitter poll were mostly like, yeah, his name's on the stone. Like, it's there.
That's what that's for.
What I want to do is I want to come up with, like, figure out how many people are in like the Pro Football Hall of Fame and like how many people have played
Yeah.
pro football.
Now we're
What's
talking.
the percentage there? Because you look at pro football, there's like 1,000 active guys at all time, and then like
and
7
then you
make
get
it
like
each year.
10 or something. Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
we haven't like if you call Ozeki the Hall of Fame for like just for the sake of argument, that means that did we induct anyone into the Hall of Fame this year? Shodai
Fuji.
was already an Ozeki.
True. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So like then that would be like 0 people out of the active 500, 600, whatever it is. So
Yeah.
like by percentages, I'd be willing to bet that there's going to be more people in the Pro Football Hall of Fame than on the Ozeki and Yokozuna stones. But
True.
I don't know. Could be fun.
Forgive me, I don't know much about sports ball, but the Hall of Fame, is that usually after their career? You don't
Yeah.
induct them during, right?
The typical waiting period is 5 years across like all sports after you retire, and then you're eligible for the Hall of Fame, unless you're Wayne Gretzky, and then the hockey, they just walk you right in.
Also true.
Off of the ring and into your statue making appointment.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They bronze you then and there.
So, real quick, Takakesho was made in Ozeki in November of 2019. His first 12-plus win was September of 2020. His follow-up, Basho, November, he got 13-2.
Well, there went that talking point.
And then in January of the following Basho, January, he went 2-13. Next 12-plus win was May of 2021. Followed that up with a 1-14. And now this one with a 12-3.
Okay. So it's just a this year trend for
Yes.
Takakesho then. Okay. So
It has happened one time recently, and that is what we're latching onto.
2 times recently.
Yeah, sorry.
2.
But the last 2 times. So I feel like that is a trend. But yeah, hopefully next year is a new year for him and new trends begin. Anybody else have anything else on Shodai? He got 9-6. He's doing his thing. I guess now that I'm vaguely remembering something else that I have about Shodai. So I keep saying I don't have any talking points on Shodai, and here I go, keep pulling them out of my ass.
Oh yeah, we're all ready to go on.
That's right. We're fine.
But it's
No, I
okay.
was just-
Get it all out. Get all your grievances
Yeah,
out.
thank you. I was just looking up like streaks as an Ozeki for like consecutive Kachikoshi with under 10 wins in each of those. And Shodai is like not even close to having the longest streak of that, which it's only 4, so you'd expect that. But I know Kaio, I think, had like 8, 9, or 10 in a row. It was somewhere in that range of just 8-7, 9-6, 8-7, 9-6. And then there was one other Ozeki with a streak that was longer, and I think it was 12 straight Basho. So 2 straight years of 8-7 or 9-6 as an Ozeki. So
That's
Shodai
somebody
has
who knows what is expected of them and is not interested.
yeah,
Goedo Jr.
yeah. So we might have one of those streaks coming up on us. We'll see how Shodai does. He's still a far way away from that. So, I mean, if you could do that, I mean, that's pretty good. You're getting Kachikoshis when facing the best of the best all the time. I guess that's all right.
Hall of Fame material right there for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So Mitake Yumi, jeez, like how dumb is Jake for thinking that Mitake Yumi would get 12 wins instead of 11 like the rest of us predicted on the midway or the halfway through shoe recap? It's like,
Oh, geez.
Using my own material against me.
Oh, geez, Jake, you're so dumb.
yeah. But Flark, I do want to ask you, are you disappointed with the 4-3 record we got from Mitake Yumi in week 2 after he started off 7-1?
Personally, no. I think my comparing like Mitake Yumi, I think it just kind of makes Takakesho stand out in my mind of just kind of attitude. I definitely kind of feel like he's okay with being top of the Sanyaku. Like, just like, I'm going to be Sekiwake. Sometimes I'm Komusubi, but I'm going to just hover around here and do my sumo career. So I like, this is just kind of where my expectations for him are. And so I think this is just exactly, so I'm not disappointed or excited about it. I'm just like, this is Mitake Yumi right now.
Gotcha. Meisei, also at Sekiwake this Basho, he finally ended his consecutive Kachikoshi streak at 7. That streak brought him from Juryo all the way up to Sekiwake, but he still will be in the Sanyaku next tournament, as a 7 and 8 will only drop you to Komusubi. That's pretty much written in stone. Ichi Nojo at Komusubi was our worst performing Sanyaku Rikishi. just very, very sleepy boy, this Basho. He was unable to beat anybody in the Sanyaku ranks. So just not a very good performance out of Ichi Nojo. And I mean, it's kind of what we expect out of Ichi Nojo. Sometimes good, sometimes this.
Need the poke flute.
Yep. It was very sleepy Basho for him.
Random question on that note. How come we didn't see any Pokemon on the Kesho Mawashi? I was looking for that.
I don't know. So I know they were on the Kensho banners, and the article that I had read, I think it was on like Pokemon.com, said that they would be sponsoring Kesho Mawashi. I didn't see any, at least as they were walking around the dohyo for the dohyo iri to start the match, either in Juryo or Makuuchi. I know they were going to sponsor Kensho banner again for January. Maybe they'll have Kesho Mawashi for January, but I don't know. I thought that would have been fun to see some Pokemon on there, but yeah, I didn't see any, and I don't know that we'll get an explanation. Maybe it was a mistranslation on Pokemon.com.
I will still hold out hope for a Blastoise.
Call me again when they're dressing up in the ring, like during matches.
I want to see
Pikachu.
I want to see them come out in those like inflatable Pikachu costumes. Just everybody for the dohyo iri in like the giant inflatable Pikachu.
Everybody's just
costume.
rocking from side to side as they're coming in.
If there's one thing that the Sumo Association likes, it's changing their tradition for modern standards. So when it comes to advertising, I'm sure that yes, they'll probably start putting people in costumes.
As YDC and JSA West, we will immediately put in a petition for Pikachu costumes for the next at least 1 day of dohyo.
At least 1 day.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, and the final Sanyaku Rikishi is Kiribaiyama. It was his Sanyaku debut. Kind of expect them to not do great. He had a 6-9 record. The only Rikishi he was able to beat that was ranked above him was Ichi Nojo, and he had some close losses like that one to Tarana Fuji, but he also got blown out quite a bit as well, especially in the first week. So it, like we saw from Wakataka Kage, you're just not really expected to have a great tournament your first time in the Sanyaku rank. So hopefully he'll get back in there and have another chance.
He will. I mean, even if you look at the matches that weren't I mean, the ones that he did lose, yes, he did get blown out in a couple, but even if you look at the ones where he could hang tough, he still gave Tarana Fuji a run for his money. Not many people can say that. So I think good things are still coming from Kiribaiyama.
Yeah, it's you're kind of expected to do well when you reached Joy, the top 16. Yeah, so which kind of makes more impressive when someone can get like a 9-6 consistently and 8-7. You know, that's very impressive.
Fair point.
Wait,
hold on. Did Flair just defend Shodai?
I think
did.
that's what he just did.
I thought he was talking about Mitaki Yumi.
Yeah,
But it kind of applies to both, I suppose.
Yeah, kind of.
but
It's just because I expect more from them. I'm just disappointed. That's all.
But Kiribaiyama, I think that he was definitely extremely entertaining. He had a couple matches that were just bonkers fun. Hoshoryu and Kiribaiyama on day 14 was an excellent match. On day 11, he lifted out Myogiryu like he was a little baby boy.
Yes.
Yeah, there was a lot of good stuff in there. And I had a quote from Kintamiyama's video on the Hoshoryu Kiribaiyama match. He said, "Excellent bout between two Rikishi who are a part of the future of sumo." And
Concur.
That's coming.
I concur.
That's high praise coming from a pretty good spot there. So that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
From Mr. Testicle Mountain himself.
Mr.
All
Testicle
hail the Ball
himself.
Mountain.
All right. I've been kind of nice to Mac because honestly, I want to hear him talk as little as possible on this episode. But
It sounds like he's shaking a little of the rust off. He's doing a little better here.
He's getting there.
I keep popping all these. And they're helping, and the tea's finally kicking in.
Don't advertise the drugs you're taking on our podcast, Mac. We want to stay on YouTube.
They're my drugs.
Also, the amphetamines are really doing it for him.
But I am your Yokozuna, and I feel like you have not been referential enough to me.
I gave you a Yokozuna, Ryan, earlier when it was
Yeah,
my
but I
turn
want
to talk.
more. I'm a needy
I just gave you
Yokozuna.
another one too, Yokozuna, Ryan. There was two.
Thank you.
So-
I appreciate it. I wish I didn't have to ask for it. I wish you wanted to call me Yokozuna.
Well, Ryan, my personal feelings for you aside, I am married, so I don't really want you in that way. But if it helps stroke your ego, all right. Yokozuna, Ryan. Unprompted. There you go.
I appreciate it. It was a little prompted. I had to pull it out of you a little bit, but you know.
Phrasing, guys.
I didn't mind.
It's like 3 and 10 seconds right there.
All right. Other Rikishi that at least I wanted to discuss are pair of Maegashira ones really coming through in week 2. So Daisho at Maegashira 1 East, he was 3-7 after the first 10 days and was able to win his final 5 to get an 8-7 record, which will get him back in the Sanyaku ranks. He will be Komosubi for Hatsu 2022. But Wakataka Kage at Maegashira 1 West, he was 2-6 after the first 8 days, and he won his final 6, or sorry, 2-7, and then he won his final 6 to get to an 8-7 record, which will not be good enough to get him the Sanyaku ranks. He will just slide over to the Maegashira 1 East spot, but that's okay. That's a spot where Wakataka Kage has done some damage in the past.
Fair to bring up that Daisho and Wakataka Kage were on the opposite end of the spectrum of Mitakayumi, in that when you're a Sekiwake like Mitakayumi is, you have all your hard matches towards the end. That's when you face the Yokozuna, the Ozekis, and stuff like that. Daisho and Wakataka Kage being Maegashira, or if you're a Komosubi sometimes, you'll get all your hard matches right at the beginning and kind of have a bit of a comeback. Yeah. So I'm not saying that it wasn't a good comeback. It was very cool. But yeah, they definitely took their beating in the first week, but they didn't let that get them down.
Yeah. You mentioned the schedule for like Mitakayumi. That reminds me again of Shodai.
This guy will not shut up about Shodai.
Keep going back on Shodai.
I'm obsessed, I swear. But the schedule making, because Shodai was out of the Yusho race, which he has been the entirety of this year, it seems like he's always being replaced as the guy that's actually in the Yusho race to face like the top ranker. Like, he didn't have to face Tarano Fuji this Basho. I don't think he had to face Tarano Fuji in the previous Basho. I wonder how many times they've been active this whole year. I wonder how many times Shodai has been able to skip out on like Hokuto Fuji or Tarano Fuji, or no, not Hokuto Fuji, Hakuho
Fuji.
Hakuho or Tarano Fuji, just because by the time it's time for Shodai to face Tarano Fuji, he's just so irrelevant that they have to put somebody else in that spot.
That's a solid
to look
strategy.
up if Sumo DB was working.
Yeah.
I don't know. That sounds like good gamesmanship to me.
Yeah. It sounds like getting all the way down to Maegashira 16, so you can get yourself a Jun Yusho. And only have like 1 or 2 hard matches.
Right.
There. He's just gaming the system. You know what? I can respect that.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anybody else from the Kyushu Basho that you guys want to talk about their performance? I'll shout out Shimano Umi, the streak king. Lost his first 5, won his next 5, and then lost his next 5. I appreciate that on some level. I can't speak to the content of his sumo. I usually glaze over during his matches, but that was a neat thing to see.
I will say on day 9, Aqua hit one of the prettiest judo throws I'd seen in a while. That was very cool.
Oh, yeah. Did he get another one of his, was it Kakenage?
I would be able to tell you on any other day. I don't know what it was officially ruled, but yeah, it was just a beautiful toss right in the middle of the ring.
Which day was it, Jake?
Don't. God,
I've
already forgotten who I'm talking about. Let's just go.
Aqua.
Aqua day 9.
Yeah.
Why would you write all this down? It's on a website that you can look up at any time. Oh.
And can you get on it?
Mac is just preparing us to know what happened in sumo history after the apocalypse.
Yeah,
Yes.
It was a Kakenage.
There you go.
Kakenage, there you go.
All right. Anybody else want to
Phrasing,
shout
Mac.
out anybody?
I think we talked about Takanosho with special prize, but he impressed
Not
me
enough.
Yeah.
Let's throw some more praise. I know Mac in particular has kind of taken a shine to Takanosho.
Yeah, he really has. Since he came on the scene, actually, since we started watching him, that was when we were up in Minnesota. We were at Moto-E, and we were discussing the potential of Takanosho. I was like, all right, we'll see what this guy can do. Actually pulled it off. We thought, okay, maybe see what he can do, see if he can hang in there. And he has. He's been a consistent stay. He's been performing largely well. And in this tournament, he pulled out really well. So well done. I'm enjoying what I'm seeing from him.
He'll be jumping up to the Sekiwake rank for the 5th time in his career. He'll be ranked as Sekiwake. Never once has he been ranked Komusubi.
So let's see if he can actually hold it. Let's see if he can actually either hold it or move forward with it.
Yeah.
That's really
Clark, do you have
weird.
any comments on Takanosho?
You look real good. I like his brand of sumo.
Just the best sort of sumo commentary you can find on the planet. I don't know why you would go get your sumo content from anywhere besides this podcast.
Mhm.
And then the other, I'd like to shout out Chiyomaru. He actually got a Kachikoshi from the lower ranks. I'm happy. He's sticking around a little bit longer.
Yeah, I don't think I have anybody else without the Bonsuke in front of me. Let's hit on Hoshoryu because we like Hoshoryu. He struggled a little bit in the first week, turned it around, wasn't able to turn it all the way around to get a winning record, but he did manage to scrape by 7 and 8. He did have some fun matches, like we mentioned with Kiribaiyama. That was a real good match. I feel like we haven't seen as much of the trippy, leggy stuff from Hoshoryu that we've seen in the past. But he's still trying to figure out his brand of sumo, putting on the weight. He's still 22 years old, so he's got time yet. But 7-8 record from Maegashira 5, so it won't be too big of a drop for him next time.
Yeah, that's entirely what my takeaway was. Like, he's still working on like the Yotsu sumo, and like from everything I can tell, there's like so many intricacies, so many different situations he could be into it. So I have high hopes. I'm hoping that he works it out.
He definitely has the death glare down. That match where he got Harite, he was like, oh, you bitch.
Yeah. So this is definitely the first time this has happened, but I'm going to bring Aqua up again on our show.
What?
I'm going to shout out his chiropractor, who's clearly putting in some serious work. At least 2 days, day 1 and day 11, Aqua had just absolutely massive, just terrible falls off of the platform. I don't know how he continues to get up, but he, even before this Basho, just always seems like a guy who takes like the biggest, dumbest, most painful looking falls.
Yeah, and he gets hit by at least one car per Basho, I feel like. So
Just on the way. Like,
Yeah.
just gets hit by a car.
So that's
for good
that's how
luck,
he got
really,
his
at
name.
this point.
He got his name from the hit car. Aqua! I'm fine.
Not,
That was
not
a
your
reach,
best
but
work,
I'll accept
okay,
it.
Yeah.
Hey.
Partial credit.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll take the partial credit.
2 more guys want to mention just because they're old timers, but they're favorites of quite a few people. Takayasu, 6 and 9 record from Maegashira 5. Disappointing on every level. Just a shameful performance by the Big Bear this Basho. You'd think he's down at Maegashira 5. He'd been hanging around Komusubi a little bit. You'd think, hey, this is where he's going to bounce back. He's going to get back there, but just getting able to scrape 6 wins at the bottom of the barrel is just, what are you even doing in the dohyo anymore? Jake, would you like to retort?
I'm good.
Oh.
No. In all
I'm
seriousness,
sad now, though.
I think probably just a Basho that shows Takayasu is not over the injuries that he had sustained in the previous tournament, and just the injuries have just been bogging him down so much over the past couple of years. He had his streak where he was able to get up to Komusubi, where he had a few 10-win Bashos in a row where it looked like he was kind of healthy, but it seems like his health is fleeting at this point. He's probably just going to be kind of like a Kodo Shokiku, just I'm not Ozeki anymore, but I'm just going to hang around for as long as I can. I know I'm not going to reach the heights that I was once able to, but I'll just see what I can do.
Yeah, he's a pretty big what if to me. Just because like he's had so many like severe injuries. Like, wasn't his original drop from Ozeki an injury as well? And then he's had like a couple
The
more
elbow.
since then,
Yep.
just to like, yeah, I don't know. It's such a bummer. Him and depending on how the next couple of years go for Takakesho, like they're Takayasu is a pretty tragic injury story that I think I don't necessarily think he could have been Yokozuna. But
Yeah.
at one point he had consecutive June U shows, and that's pretty solid. And then, then he gets hurt and he's never really the same. So
Could have at least pulled out one U show without these, especially like before Tarana Fuji got to his rise, and like Kakuryu and Hakuho were out all those tournaments. If there was a healthy Takayasu in there, probably could have pulled one of those U show out.
and the problem is he's really not any younger than Kakuryu, a couple of years younger than Hakuho.
Yeah, I think he's either
like
31 or 32.
He's like right at the bottom of that old generation that's kind of on their way out right now.
Yeah.
He never really had much of a window in between there, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like had he not had those injuries, he probably would have stumbled into one Yusho by now.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
And the other guy that you kind of lump in with Takayasu is Tochinoshin, former
Yeah.
Ozeki, often injured, falling down the Bansuke. He pulled out prior to the first day, and then he came back. I think it was either day 4 or 5. Ended up with a 6-9 record. So I think he was like 6-5 or 6-4 on the dohyo this tournament, but still another losing record for Tochinoshin, who will continue to slide down the Bansuke. I know a lot of people were thinking, oh, he pulled out on day 1. He's going to retire after this tournament, but he was able to come back.
When he was in the ring, he did not look too bad compared to his recent form. Yeah, there were some absolutely solid old school Tochinoshin matches.
Yep, definitely. All right, let's quickly go through all of the lower division Yusho winners. So in Juryo, we had Ichi Yamamoto, his first career Yusho in any division. So just a nice rebound for him after being demoted from Makuuchi the previous Basho. He will be back up to Makuuchi for Hatsu.
And now he has more accolades than Kagayaki.
He does indeed have more accolades.
Accolades.
That is accolades.
Accolade.
That's some real meat and butter vocabulary. You can work on there, Matt.
I may not be able to speak good, but damn it, I'll call anybody out who also doesn't do the good speak.
That's half
Ryan,
of
continue.
the
You're
fun of
gonna
this
hurt yourself.
podcast.
Yokozuna, Ryan, continue. You're going to hurt yourself.
You don't have to
you.
say shit.
Mr. Man. All right. Makushita Ryuden won his second career Makushita Yusho. This is his first Basho back after his 3 Basho suspension for breaking the COVID protocols. Look forward to the Hatsu recap where Ryuden has won his second straight Makushita Yusho. Sandanme, Keen Bozan. This is his first career Sandanme Yusho and his first career Basho. He is a 24-year-old from Kazakhstan that was able to start his career in Sandanme due to his excellent career in the amateur sumo, talking good. Jonidan, Yuri Kisho won his first career Yusho. It's his 23rd career Basho. He's 20 years old. He struggled with injury a few times, and he's going to be, after this, he's going to be going back to Sandanme for the 4th time in his career. And then in Jonokuchi, you had Inoue. Inoue. We're going to go with that. This is his first career Yusho. He's 22 years old. He was in Makushita for a year plus before an injury kept him out of 4 straight Basho. And then he competed in 1 match only for 3 more Basho to keep himself from completely falling off the Bansuke. This is his first Basho where he completed all days. So a guy that hangs out in Makushita, he should wipe the floor with the Jonokuchi Rikishi. And then just quick in news, the YDC, the Yokozuna Deliberation Council East, was happy for like the first time in the past 4 or 5 years. I feel
It's
like
a sign of the apocalypse.
Yeah. They have nothing bad to say about Tarana Fuji regarding his performance or conduct, and they hope he will continue to lead with power and Hinkaku. They apparently did not have as nice of things to say about the rest of the Sanyaku ranks, and
we're back on point.
They were wanting to see, they're looking forward to seeing the development of some Rikishi outside of the Sanyaku. And this is all from a tweet from Sumo Follower who translated a Nikon Sports article. And then also the YDC East wants JSA to reinstate Daigeko, which is the inter-Heya practice. So right now, because of COVID, Rikishi can only practice with other Rikishi within their Heya. Before COVID, you're able to go between Heya so like Tarano Fuji could practice with Mitake Yumi or something like that. Probably not, because I think they're in different Ichimon, but you get the idea. And JSA Chairman Hakaku has said that they will make their decision on allowing Daigeko after consulting with experts, as they should.
Yeah, not looking too good right now. But we'll see.
Not with Omicron.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely into the cooler sounding letters for variants.
I mean, I'm sorry, but Futurama just comes to mind whenever I hear Omicron.
Omicron Persei 8, of course.
So, I am Lur. Oh my
Yeah.
God, I actually sound like Lur.
You do sound like Lur today. Yeah. No, Omicron, one of the most ominous sounding of Greek letters, I think. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully that helps people take it seriously, depending on how it turns out. But I just wanted to say I also saw a tweet that just for old time's sake, they just admonished Hakuho slightly.
Makes sense.
No, I mean, honestly, it doesn't feel right if they don't. So something
At this stage.
It's just weird. It's just weird. I don't like it.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we will update the final standings for the GSB belts, and we will get into details of how your 4-time prediction series champ this year, won this particular one. And we'll also have max punishment, as well as our winner of a t-shirt from Bold Predictions and GSB Awards and other stuff. If you enjoy the Grand Sumo Breakdown podcast, you can leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast listening service.
You can find us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Just search for Grand Sumo Breakdown.
Support the show on Patreon and check out our blog, grandsumobreakdown.wordpress.com.
If you have any questions, comments, or corrections, drop us a line at grandsumobreakdown@gmail.com or give us a call at 805-613-7866. That's 805-613-SUMO.
Also, watch us on YouTube.
Welcome back. The Grand Sumo Breakdown Championship belt, which sounds a lot cooler than it really is, bounced around a ton in this particular tournament. It started out on Makushita 18 East Kamito, it started out on Fuji Seiyun, who was holding the belt at the end of the last tournament. And then the first 1, 2, 3, 4 matches that were for the belt, it changed hands. Nobody could keep a handle on it. It passed to Roga, who we've discussed on the podcast before, who was only able to hold it for 1 match. Eventually, it worked its way up to Ryuden, who, as we mentioned before, was the Makushita Yusho winner. He started at Makushita 47 West, and he'll probably be in like top 5 or so of Makushita. Would you agree with that, Bonsuke Ryan?
I have no idea. He'll be in the top
okay.
15. That's all I can guarantee.
Sure. But so Ryuden will be up near the top of Makushita. I think we can say that.
Yes.
Meaning that there's going to be plenty of opportunities for this belt to continue moving up. Mm-hmm. Or if Ryuden keeps up this form, which is perfectly likely, maybe he'll just carry it up the Bonsuke himself. Yep. But we'll see.
All right. That brings us to the prediction series. As you might have figured out, I was able to win with my team of Abi and Miyagiryu. And I just want to say that this was a complete team effort, this Basho. My guys went out there. They left everything they had out on the dohyo. You have to give our opponents credit. We beat a very good team, and they have the best player in the world in Tarana Fuji. But we've been saying from the beginning that if we trust the process and go 1 match at a time, there's nobody out there that can beat us. And we finally saw all that come together. A lot of people are going to be looking to give Abi a lot of praise for this win, and they're right to do so. But I think it'd be a shame if we overlooked the Herculean effort that Miyagiryu put in to secure this team victory. He had a little trouble buying into the system after his 2-1 start, but we had a good conversation before day 4. He bought into what his role needed to be for the team, and from then on out, he did not bring it. Day after day, he just failed to show up out there, and I couldn't be more proud of him. Losing 12 straight to close out a Basho and lock up the victory for us was huge, but we're not satisfied after this win. We're going to look at the tape, see what we can do next time to be even better.
You watch too many football press conferences.
I think, Ryan, we know where Yokozuna Ryan's true love is. It's with football. It's not sumo.
I mean, I don't do hours of research and spend hours talking about the NFL.
You could,
so,
though.
Like we do with sumo.
Could, but I wouldn't have as much influence in that community. It's all about where I could get mine.
I also want to give a quick shout out to Kiribaiyama for being one of the worst ever champ picks.
Oh, that was bad.
Bringing Sugebito Max team down to the very bottom here.
Yeah. Indeed.
And the aforementioned Tochinoshin. That's right. You picked Tochinoshin before the announcement that he was out.
Yep.
So you ended up with Koto Waco, which was a pretty good pick. That was a pretty good pick.
I can pick a loser, apparently.
You can pick 2.
I can pick
2 losers.
That's what I mean.
Unfortunately, the game is not that.
Yes, I know it's not that. However, Yokozuna Ryan was grateful enough to grace us with a scene that of his choosing. And I was able to convert it to a semi-sumo form. Unfortunately for Yokozuna Ryan, half of it was boring as shit. So here is the best bits of it, gentlemen, as it is pasted. Enjoy your yes.
All right.
Now, Fleric.
So we're doing this live?
Yes,
we're doing it live. Oh my God, there's a lot. Okay.
Yeah, there's suddenly more text in our outline. So let's bring this going.
Am I like
all right?
Which? Okay, never mind. Go ahead.
All right, Fleric, official narrator voice. At the conclusion of the Kyushu Basho Review-shu, the would-be Dai Yokozuna Fleric had his victory taken away from him by Ryan. Wanting the reclamation of what was rightfully his, Fleric dispatched Mac and Jake to track Ryan down to collect his title. They have arrived at Ryan's house and now have cornered him in his office.
Hey, Yokozuna, you know why we're here?
No.
Why don't you cut the bull and tell Sekitore Jake where you've got it hid at?
Mac, I think it's under the change.
I don't remember asking you a shimpan thing. You were saying.
It's in the diaper box under the changing table.
Yeah, I can see it. Jake reaches under the it has my name on it. I'm sorry.
You're not highlighted, Jake.
Jake reaches under the changing table and pulls out a large diaper box. He unfolds the lid and a bright glow emits from inside. Jake stares at it, transfixed.
Are we happy?
Jake continues to stare at the glow.
Jake
finally looks up at Mac.
Are we happy?
No, we're not happy, but this will do.
Jake folds the lid back on the diaper box, extinguishing the glow.
Why is Flair talking like that? Besides, it's not his. He lost. Why are you guys even here?
You can't talk your Ashitori out of this shiitake, Ryan.
Look, I won fair and square. It's not my fault the points worked out this way. I am the Yokozuna. I am the Dai Yokozuna. That's just the way it...
No!
The group stares at Mac, wondering why he interrupted Ryan's monologue.
Fleric, seriously, why are you talking like that?
You can't break my concentration. I know you meant to do that. I believe I was saying something about being the Dai Yokozuna.
No, you're finished. And now I have a retort. How did you steal it?
What?
What country are we in?
What?
What? What isn't the place where we live? Don't we speak English here?
What?
English, Magashira. Do you speak it?
Yeah. I have no idea what's going on.
Explain how you stole Fleric's Yusho.
What?
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you, Fumidashi. Say what one more Gyoji time.
Louder, disgusted groan.
Whatever. I picked Miyagiryu as my chump.
Go on.
Then I picked Abby as my champ.
Didn't you change the scoring system?
What?
Didn't you change the scoring system?
We agreed, though.
Oddly convenient, don't you think?
Look, we all agreed. I wouldn't have mattered anyway, even if we didn't change the system. I didn't know something like this could happen.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. God damn it. You knew something like this could happen. And Fleric was robbed of the victory, even though he correctly chose the winner.
Still wouldn't have mattered.
Do you know what it takes to be a real Yokozuna, Ryan?
Where's this going?
Well, I do. And I researched some of the special criteria that makes a Yokozuna who they are. And it starts with...
Fleric, put that box down. I won.
Flair nimbly grabs the diaper box and proceeds to sneak out of the room.
Why are you enunciating your actions?
Fleric, put down the box. Get out of here, all of you.
Flair leaves the scene.
As someone who's managed to go this far, not having seen that entire movie in one sitting, this was very confusing for me.
I bet so. So a little context of this, we did change a little of the scoring system for the prediction before because Ryan was very worried about losing the champ.
Yes,
if I picked Tarana Fuji. And
we were trying to make it a little bit more a little bit more volatile by de-emphasizing the Yusho a couple points.
Mhm.
I mean, like Mac's script said, we all agreed to it.
Oh
And
no, that's
also
why I
like
had to
Mac's
get it in
script
there.
said, even if we used the old scoring, I still would have won.
That's what I mean. That's why I was like, well, this fits.
It's highly suspicious before the last Basho. that
Oh,
you
but I agree.
Pull this up, and that someone else had first pick.
It's like oddly convenient, don't you think?
Y'all agreed to it, so I don't-
That's right. What
I
I will say,
admitted that.
I will say, game
That
will
hurt.
respect. Game will respect game. Well done, Ryan, of getting those changes in. And I appreciate that Mac. Tsukibito Mac has my back. Very good.
Always. Blair,
As long
you're
as-
the Yokozuna in my heart.
How dare
That's all
you?
that matters to me.
Call me Yokozuna Ryan right now.
Bite me.
That's not how this works.
I've called you it plenty. Move on.
You also agreed to those rules, Mac.
Yeah, I know Yokozuna Ryan. I agree to them.
Thank you. All right. Bold predictions. Let's go over some of the good predictions that were good, but just weren't quite good enough. And these are all from Twitter. So Politico on Twitter said that Tarano Fuji would win. That was good.
Not super
quite
bold.
good enough. Stacy Harmon, Leo Arthur. They went a step further. They said a Tarano Fuji Zensho Yusho. That was also pretty good, but not quite good enough. Ian Thomas, he said that Abi would be joint leader with Teru after the first week after he rips through the lower Makuuchi ranks. Not quite, but pretty close. Finishes well into double digits, and people can begin to speculate just how long the return to Sanyaku will take. Speaking of that, how long do you think it'll take for Abi to get into the Sanyaku ranks?
2 more, maybe.
Sounds pretty
I think
close.
he'll slow down a little bit
Yeah.
when he gets up higher.
It honestly depends on the other Rikishi.
He'll get a massive jump from this one, but I think it'll be another
Yeah.
tournament.
He'll just
I
have
think-
to keep doing his brand of sumo 1 match at a time.
I think
stay
if
healthy.
he stays healthy.
It could be
and
his
then-
moment.
If he stays healthy, it won't matter if all the Rikishi above him have winning records.
Yes.
And our last good prediction is from Loska, who predicted Shoda with 10 plus wins. 9 is pretty close to 10, but Abi 10 plus wins, and that Meisei would stay in Sanyaku, which he will despite his losing record, and that Kageyaki would give us boring sumo.
Solid.
Very solid.
Yeah.
Some bad predictions. We have all the people who still keep predicting Takayasu Yusho. It's not gonna happen.
They're I don't think those are bad predictions.
We had our buddy Josh. He said that Tochinoshin will go Kyuju after it was already announced.
But it was extra wrong because Tochinoshin then came back.
Yes.
Did you just say Kyuju, Ryan?
You said Kyuju.
Kyuju?
Yeah, the Kyushu.
No. We're
Kyuju.
making fun of Josh right now, not
Yeah.
Ryan. We make
Oh,
plenty
shucks.
of fun of Ryan.
Yeah. That Tochinoshin would go Kyujo.
Also from
Sorry.
Josh, Tarano Fuji, Kyujo, and Takayasu Jun Yusho.
Stop it with the Takayasu predictions. If anybody predicts Takayasu Yusho on the next bold predictions, you are automatically
get a free
disbarred from
t-shirt.
everything.
Oh God.
Fair enough. Jake said it before I could say my thing.
It is law.
Yep. Mary Karen Landry specifically said no Zensho Yusho for Tarano Fuji.
Ooh.
And also predicted double-digit wins for Tochinoshin.
oh.
Michael Krakowski, like even weirder than the Takayasu Yusho, a Takada Fuji Yusho?
And this
Think
bold.
about if he'd nailed it though.
I mean,
Ooh.
that's true. We'd be
Oh,
praising
man.
the name Michael Krakowski, but Takada Fuji Yusho?
Miss 100% of the shots you don't take, and
fair.
especially you miss the shots that you hurl like the opposite direction of the basket.
And then at Baravesio predicted an Ichinojo Yushu. Oh my gosh. Ichinojo.
Now
you
we're
were
thinking
the
of
whole
Lord,
Kyushu
Yokozuna
thing.
Ryan. What is wrong with you?
The Kyushu thing's just throwing me off. Ichinojo Yusho, Tarano Fuji Kyujo, and Kageyaki special prize. Oof. Yeah.
By the way, we call these predictions out because they're very wrong. Please keep doing them.
Yeah, obviously.
Oh my God, the bolder they are, the better. Whether they're right or not are the most fun to talk about at the end.
I
of
know.
these.
Like even
Yes.
Jake predicted a 12 and 3 Mitaki Yumi. Like
Yeah,
bad predictions.
Bold. It was bad, but it was bold. Everybody else that was in the know knew he was getting 11-4, Jake.
Even I did. Come on, man.
Yeah, you picked Kiribaiyama as your champ. You shut up.
But I got Mitake Yumi right.
I can hold on to the Kiribaiyama pick until this episode is over, at least.
Tim Sumo, he is going to be the winner of our t-shirt. Not only did he predict the Tarano Fuji Yusho, but he also predicted that Takakesho and Abi would share the June Yusho. He had a couple other things in there that didn't quite come to pass, like a Hoshoryu Technique Prize and Bushozan getting promoted, which is an outside chance for Bushozan to get promoted out of Juryo. I doubt it, but it's close. So it's good enough with the Tarano Fuji Yusho and the Takakesho Nabi Jun Yusho. That's good enough to get the best prediction.
Yeah, that's plenty.
So Tim, we will be hitting you up for your details to send you a t-shirt. If we haven't already, that's the magic of recording a podcast and then releasing it like 3 weeks later, I'm assuming.
I don't know.
No.
I'm kind of hungry. I'll get around to it later.
Depends if I'm still alive.
Yeah. It depends if we have to go to Mac's funeral in between. That gets in the way of editing.
Yeah, it could.
All right. Let's go through our GSB awards. The first award is the Kingpin Award, and that goes for Chiyoshima for bowling a perfect strike when he launched Kotoeko into the Gyoji sitting reed side after just another beautiful Henka on day one.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes.
We also have the High School Bully Award. That goes to Tetsuyoshi for pulling off a simultaneous teabag and mega wedgie against Ishiura on day two.
That's an excellent one. The Mongolian Forklift Award goes to Kiribaiyama for lifting out Myogiryu on day 11. Tochinoshin, you can retire now if you had been waiting for somebody to become your successor. Also, the bench press champion would be Takakesho. With his apparently out of nowhere complete, beach muscle arms that he's just tossing fools left and right with these days. Particularly, Mac mentioned it earlier in the first half, he hurled Kiribaiyama to the ground like one-handed. And then also, if you watch his matches with Endo and even Tarano Fuji, that like duck and slam move he does has sent these 400-pound men flying over and over again. It's crazy, and it's not something that he's been able to pull off so consistently before.
The Crimson Mask Award goes to Shohozan after getting his nose, what has to be absolutely shattered after a headbutt from Shimano Umi on day 15. I think that's easily the most blood we've seen on the dohyo.
That's a good one. The Marathon Award. This one is a tie for completely different reasons. Takayasu for spending approximately 1 marathon worth of time in the dohyo this particular basho. It happens a lot, but this basho in particular was crazy. Also, Tobizaru ran 1 entire marathon into the crowd on day 15. He went like 30 rows deep and eventually and by the end of it, he was just kind of like walking, like didn't really feel like stopping, it seemed like. And then he ended up landing and pulling a Teretsuyoshi and teabagging somebody in the crowd.
We have the Robbed Award, which we mentioned earlier in the show, goes to not this show, but earlier on in the shows that we've done previously. Hoshoryu for no mono-oi against Tamawashi. Come on, not even a review. Bullcrap, robbed. Next up, we have the Competitive Falling Award, which goes to the perfect 10 for 10 belly flop Yu Takayama on day 7. Just
excellent.
Fantastic.
Beautiful form.
And then we have the Dance Dance Revolution, literally, award to Ura on day 12 after his victory pirouette against Hokuto Fuji. Bravo, sir.
And our final award is the Match of the Basho. We've got a few nominees. Day 2, Tarano Fuji's comeback against Daisho. Day 11, Tarano Fuji versus Ichinojo, which was a good back and forth power grappling match. Day 14, Hoshoryu versus Kiribaiyama, which was just a fun. They had a belt match where they were trying to trip each other at the same time. It just good match there. Day 15, Tarano Fuji versus Takakesho. We've already talked about that match. And despite just my horrible description of the match, the winner was Hoshoryu versus Kiribaiyama on day 14. Yeah,
whatever. No, that one was so back and forth. It didn't have like a spectacular finish to it, but like it was a pretty long match, and they were just going after technique after technique after technique and just countering each other beautifully. It was so cool.
Yep. All right, we'll start with Jake. What was your favorite moment of the Basho?
I really liked that we didn't have a ton of injury stuff going on. We got to see pretty much everybody at as good as they can be. The top two guys, Tarana Fuji and Takakesho, they were the top two guys. Their match was competitive. Their rivalry is still pretty close to even. Tarana Fuji has more tournaments, but their head-to-head, I think Tarana Fuji's only ahead by one.
Yeah, it was 2-2 going into day 15.
Yeah, so I really like that, they're healthy, they're competitive with each other. And I would rather have two top guys duking it out than just another Hakuho kind of an era where one guy reigns supreme. So that's what I got.
All right, what about you, Mac?
Well, Yokozuna Ryan, it has to be when I saw the fire the newer generation seems to have. Looking at Hoshoryu, looking at Takanosho, these guys are hungry, and I love what I'm seeing from them. I love watching their techniques develop. I love watching their attitudes, the rivalries they're making. Like, I'm excited to see where the sport goes.
All right, how about you, Fleric?
It's going with Jake. It has to be the Takakesho, Tarana Fuji being healthy and having a good match. These are the two best people on the dohyo right now. And we got a day 15 match. I hope we get a whole lot more, will be my hope. But I thoroughly enjoyed this one. It was
maybe
great.
Next time with the Yusho on the line again. That'd be pretty great.
That'd be good.
That will be good. I won't be too greedy. I'll just take more matches.
I mean, it's happened twice already, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see.
For me, I'm just going to go with Tarano Fuji getting a Zensho Yusho. It's fun kind of seeing the dominance. We don't know how long Tarano Fuji is going to be able to have this streak. And so to see, we kind of missed out on the Hakuho absolute dominance. So it's kind of nice seeing Tarano Fuji kind of what it does look like when there is just one clear guy at the top. I prefer a couple of clear guys at the top, but it is fun to see this level of dominance, somebody that's just so good at their craft. It'll be interesting to see how long it takes before this gets boring, but it's not for me yet. So I'm going to say just Tarano Fuji's dominance was my favorite part. And so what you can expect from us in the coming months leading up to the Hatsu Basho and our preview there. Next week, we will have my Bansuke prediction. We're going to have, it sounds like, at least 3 more interviews come out for the leading up to the Vegas tournament. We'll probably have some sort of episode kind of recapping our experience at the Sumo Nationals in Vegas after we're done with that. We're going to have the popularity poll, the results from that. We're going to go over that, see who was the most favorite rikishi, how the trends have changed over the past year. We're going to have our Grand Sumo Breakdown award show before the Hatsu Basho, and then we're going to have the Bansuke recap, and then that'll all lead into our main 3 episodes for the Hatsu Basho. So we've got a lot coming
Tons
to you
content
before the end of the year. Once again, if you see a link for the popularity poll, go out, fill it out. If you don't see a link for it, seek it out, fill it out. Let's get some big numbers on it.
Yep. Yeah, do that for us, and we'll keep pumping out episodes this month to distract you while you are trying to put up with your family for the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
December 11th. You better be paying attention on December 11th, though.
Oh yeah, we'll make sure that live stream and all that is also sent out everywhere that we possibly can. If you like pro sumo, you gotta check out USA Amateur Sumo. It's very cool. It's a pretty tight knit community that is always eager for more fans, more competitors, especially.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you are in Texas, Florida, California, there is a club near you. The only thing stopping you from trying sumo yourself is just looking it up. So.
All right, so we've got plenty coming at you, and you will hear from us very soon.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Grand Sumo Breakdown. Until next time,
Throw your salt high.
And keep moving forward. Like Stephen Hawking doing a pirate impression.
You got hot tea?
Yes, I have hot tea as well.
Well,
You sound like the old New York lady that lives in the apartment above us and like gets angry at all the noise that we
You
make.
ain't seen my cats. Come in and find my cats. Fluffers.
Oh shit, we better start recording before Mac dies.
It's already recording.
You have to get this content before you die.
Oh, well,
After it, you can die all you want.
Yeah.
But we need this content from you first.
We need the script of Pulp Fiction before you can die. Just,
it'll
just
be
email
there.
that to us, and
It'll be
and
there
then
on the outline when the time is right.
Don't worry. I wasn't about to drop that Stephen Hawking pirate joke without hitting record. So
Yeah.
we're good
Oh
to
no,
go.
I knew you weren't.
This is all going in.
all right. Is there anything else we need to go over? Or are we just good to do this thing?
Let's kick it.
Let's give it a little behind the scenes Mac mockery on this episode.
Oh, there's gonna be plenty in front of the
I was
scenes.
about to say,
I don't
like,
know that I could keep a straight face
It
if
doesn't
Mac
need to
says
be
more than
behind the
3 words in a
scenes.
row. I think Mac just has to keep it with like, I concur. I disagree.
I disagree.
Delete.
Did
you turn in your
paperwork, Wazowski?
Wazowski, you didn't turn in your paperwork last night.
Can
God, it
you
hurts.
Somehow I think you're faking it just to workshop some impressions.
No, I'm not. That's what's bad.
Oh, can you say "Arg me, matey, walk the plank"
I could.
as your Yokozuna?
You can't command that of me yet, matey.
I will.
You can try.
I
But you're
wasn't
not
kidding.
be getting that from me later.
I wasn't kidding though. This is all going in. Like this episode.
I figured it was. Yes.